I'd like to thank Birch Living for sponsoring this video. How much fabric do you have? It comes in pre-cuts, yardage, and by the bolt. We buy a yard here, a layer cake there. It comes home in boxes and bags that we add to our stash bit by bit. And then we lose track of how much fabric we actually have. Well, it's time to bring it all out into the daylight and count it. So stick with me and I'll show you how to do it. Hi, I'm Karen Brown of Just Get It Done Quilts. I give you tips, tricks, and strategies to help you make the quilt that you want to make. And if you like what you see, please click that subscribe button. For a couple of years now, I've been toying with the idea of counting how much fabric I have. I didn't think I was out of control, but after I watched this video of me handling fabrics, I felt like I was at a tipping point. So now I am counting all my uncut fabric to see just how much I have. After I took my first quilting class and I joined my first quilt guild, I wanted to have a stash. As I took on block challenges and block lottos and charity quilts, I wanted a big enough stash to make any project. And so I started buying fat quarters, and I accumulated them 4 to 5 at a time. Plus, I joined a couple of subscription services, and I would store them all in these scrapbook containers. I started with just one and kept buying them until I had enough of 14 containers sorted by color, plus another one for whites and another one for blacks. And I have a terrible weakness for fat quarter bundles. And I kept filling containers till I had over 21. And each container contains between 45 and 70 fat quarters. With my first counting, I gulped as it added up fast. And do you want to guess how much I actually have? 315 yards. Next, I moved to this cupboard. This is like a black hole. Fabric goes in, but it doesn't come out. And this past January, I said I had had enough. I pulled everything out to put the fabric on these shelves where I can see it. And it took a lot of folding to get everything in place. I thought it would only take 6 containers, and then it was 9. It has actually taken 21. In my first bin, I just have a selection of solids, binding strips, and a couple of jelly rolls. Then I grouped colors in the 6 primary and secondary colors. There are also bins of designers like Ruby Star, Tulip Pink, Juicy Juice, Ellison Glass, and Tim Holtz. I do have a couple of mini bolts of random fabrics too. I also have 2 layer cakes and 3 more jelly rolls that I'm squeezing in too. So here I have another 185 yards of fabric, bringing my total to an even 500. I don't have a lot of yardage at home anymore, as I've sent most of it to the studio to be used for backs. I have 3 small bolts of flannel, several of linen, and then a couple more of woven. On the other side of this cabinet, on the lowest shelf, I keep denim, which I'm not counting because I've upcycled it. Then I have all this fabric that I was going to make garments with. I'm very embarrassed that all I've actually done with this fabric is pre-wash it. And I'm shocked again by the quantity that I have here. I have over 50 yards. And above it, I have all these kits. I thought I had pared them down, but I still have so many left. I need to find a better solution for these kits because I have honestly not made one of them in 2 years. I have culled a couple and I've restashed a couple more, but clearly I have to do more so I can see these. So with the kits and the bolts, my total fabric number is up to 641. Last week, we had an unexpected guest, and I am so glad that I replaced our guest mattress with one from Birch Living. Birch Living is a mattress in a box company that makes mattresses that are fiberglass free and crafted with sustainably sourced organic and natural materials. And it comes rolled up in a box, and it's pretty straightforward for you to set it up yourself. The mattress has over 1,000 individually wrapped steel coils to cradle your body and limit motion transfer. Crafted with 8 different layers of organic cashmere, organic wool, organic cotton, and 100% natural latex. And their non-toxic mattresses are made right here in North America. It is important to me because those organic materials help keep me cool and regulate my body temperature while I sleep. Birch mattresses are Green Guard Gold certified. This means the mattresses are independently verified to be organic, ethically produced from beginning to end, and free from any polyurethane-based foams and harsh, unnecessary chemicals and pollutants. I've had mine for over 2 years. Not only did I put one in my guest room, I've also given one to my sister and one to my parents. Ordering online can be nerve-wracking, and if you're ordering for someone else, even more so. With Birch, you get a 100-night sleep trial, as well as a 25-year warranty. Delivery is free to your door within the USA. With every order, you will receive 2 Birch EcoRest pillows made from recycled plastic bottles. They're breathable and better for the environment. I love my Birch mattress, and I think you will too. Their President's Day sale is running right now. It is the perfect time to upgrade your sleep, plus get 25% off your Birch mattress plus 2 free pillows. Visit birchliving.com/quilts to find out more about this limited timed offer. This Billy bookcase is in my bedroom because I have 0 wall space in my sewing room. But honestly, I love to see these bright colors lined up neatly every morning when I get out of bed. I keep the 1 to 4 yard cuts on these mini bolts on these 2 shelves, and I keep the yardage on the bottom. These are leftover from the days that I thought I was going to be a kit maker. And it is astonishing how long 15 yards of fabric will last you for. And with the numbers added onto my phone, I am now at 826 yards. So I do one last look through my room. I'm checking out my works in progress cupboard. I honestly didn't think I had much here, as I presumed all the fabric was cut. And I'm considering all cut fabric part of a UFO. But surprise, surprise, not only do I have yardage that I was saving for a 1-block wonder quilt, I also have 2 stacks of fat quarters that I was saving for placemats. And when I think that this is the end, I forgot all about my holiday fabrics drawer. It is right next to my sewing machine, behind this door, on the very bottom. And it's very problematic. I thought that I would bring everything out in August to make Halloween and Christmas items, but it's totally forgotten in this hidden, awkward spot. I think I will switch the stuff in this drawer with the bed linen drawer for better access. And with these additions, I have broken the 1,000 yards of fabric mark, and I'm at 1,011 yards of fabric. So now we're in the studio, and last year I moved parts of my stash here, and it's very purpose-driven. The studio is where I long arm, I square up, I put on the binding. Basically, this is where I finish the quilt. I already had my wide backs here, but I did add my bolts of printed yardage here that I will also use for quilt backs. But I totally forgot how many digital panels I had for baby quilts and long arm practice. I had forgotten just how many I had purchased. And I have a spot here for my yardage. And luckily, I tagged everything last week, so I don't need to unfold any of this yardage. And I also have this stash of Minky that I was going to test drive. So I put this all onto my chart, and now I'm up to 1,143. I also keep my children's prints here for baby quilts. I brought them here, 1, for space, but 2, with my big cutting boards, I thought that I could cut them up to make some stash busters and sew them 15 minutes at a time. Unfortunately, I've just started feeling comfortable here sewing on my domestic sewing machine, and these buckets have not been touched in a year. And again, I am shocked at how much fabric I have lost track of. There are also a ton of scraps that I need to deal with, but not today. I also have another bucket here full of wovens. I discovered that I do not like quilting with them, but I do want to make placemats and napkins out of them. And since now I have my serger at the studio, I hope to get them done soon. So with these numbers added to the spreadsheet, I'm at 1,184 yards. It's funny how you become blind to what's in front of you. I have 22 fat quarters in my YouTube setup. And as I'm editing this video, I realize I've also forgot to count the panels in this bucket here. And I also realized that there was yardage in these 2 UFOs in my UFO cupboard as well. I also categorize these 2 piles as works in progress, as I'm starting to make both of them the minute I get home from QuiltCon. But I realized that I had not cut any of this fabric, so technically they are still a kit. So I counted them too. And now the total of my stash, the grand total, is 1,211 yards of fabric. Now, I know this is a ridiculous amount of fabric. I'm not going to defend it, but then I'm not going to shame myself for it either. It is what it is. And not all this fabric has the same value. Some I paid full price, some I bought on sale, some I bought at a garage sale, and some was given to me or I won in a contest. And getting reacquainted with my stash meant I got to play with my stash. And I have all sorts of fun new quilt ideas. So if I take 1,211 yards and divide it by 8 yards, which I think is average for what I need to make a quilt, both front and back, that means this stash can produce 152 quilts. And if I make 10 quilts a year, it's a 15-year supply. And I can live with that. Honestly, now that I've made the effort to count it, I feel like I have some control back. I can start using the fabric that I like best right away. And because that I've organized it all, I can see what I have and I can get that fabric into quilts. This exercise is also giving me permission to sell or donate those fabrics I no longer want or need. And when I get home from QuiltCon, that's exactly what I'm going to do. So stay tuned. Thank you for showing up today. If you can see, I am actually in Raleigh, North Carolina right now, but I'm on my way home shortly. So if you missed my video on fabric storage, I'm going to leave a link to that playlist here. I'll also leave a link to my Stash Buster series as well, so you can use up some of your stash. Take care, and I'll see you next time.